some of you have heard, I shared the story a little while ago, how just a few months ago, I was working in my front yard fixing some things, and some Jehovah's Witnesses come by, and they say, hey, can we talk to you? And I'm fixing this, and I go, of course. How can I? Yeah, I got some things to say to you too. Let's talk. No, seriously, because I just think, here's some human beings. I need to love on them. They're trying to love on me, and so they start sharing some things, and I just said, hey, can I tell you? Can I just tell you a couple things that God's done in my life recently? Just a couple things. I mean, this will blow your mind. Let me just tell you about some answers to prayer that just happened like last week. And this lady goes, God doesn't listen to everyone's prayers. And I said, you know what? Actually, biblically, you're right on. I go, James 1 says that if we doubt, he's not going to listen to us. James 4 says if we ask with the wrong motives, he's not going to listen to us. 1 Peter 3 says if I don't honor my wife, man, my prayers are going to be hindered. He says in Isaiah 58, if I don't care for the poor, it doesn't mean if I fast and pray. He's not listening. Yeah, I go in Amos, he says, I don't even want to hear the noise of your songs. I'm not going to listen to that. He says, if my people would humble themselves, and turn from their wicked ways. I mean, there's conditions. Says, you're absolutely right. He does not listen to every prayer, but he listens to mine. And I said, and I tell this one story of this thing that happened, and she's like, wow. I go, explain that. Why does he listen to me? And she goes, let's get out of here. And so her and her friends start walking away. I go, actually, if you don't mind, I'd like to walk with you because I have some more stories. And because I didn't want them to just walk away. I want them to know, I just want people to know this Jesus, because there's nothing like answered prayer. There's nothing like, no way, I just spoke to God and he listened to me. I mean, that's my favorite thing on earth. When I ask for something, I go, shut up. God just listened to me and look what he did. You can't explain this away. And so I'm telling them these stories as I'm walking with them. Man, I went like a block and a half just telling them. And one of them looks at me, she goes, what are you? Because you're one of them Pentecostals. And I go, don't worry about it. I go, here's all you need to know about me. I'm a human being just like you. And I get alone with that book. I get alone with the Bible and I just read it and I see stuff I'm supposed to do and I do it. And I pray to that God in that Bible, that Jesus who died on that cross for me. And I just read that and I pray to him and he listens to me and he's changed me and everything he's done in my life, it just blows my mind. And she goes, that's your problem. That was literally what she goes, that's your problem. She goes, you read that book by yourself. She goes, you can't understand that book unless one of our leaders explains it to you. And I said, see, that's your problem. No. I said, you're putting all of your trust in someone else. I go, do you understand this is about your eternity? This is about heaven and hell. And you are putting all your trust in what someone else tells you. And you understand, man, I think some of us in the room do this. Some of the things we believe and do and hold so dear is not because we found it in this book. It's just because someone told us, and I'm not saying that we don't listen to people who know more than we do. Man, I think there's a time to listen, but at the same time, I see a lot of believers just grabbing on and listening to someone because they're a popular speaker, or listening to someone because he's a good singer, someone appears really intelligent, quotes some Greek words that you don't know any better. You're like, okay, I guess. And you just start listening and you just follow these supposed scholars. And just like I told those ladies, I go, look, you would never come up with some of these conclusions if you just read this book over and over again. Right now, you guys believe that Michael and Jesus are the same person. You really would have got that from the Bible? You only believe that because someone told you. If you put this verse over here, isn't that kind of the same? Yeah, I go, man, just read it for yourself.
Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen again. Praise the Lord. You pray for me and I'll pray for you. Okay. God is good. And all the time. God is good. And all the time. As for me and my house, we will serve. Amen. He may not come when you want him, but amen, amen. And this is one that only a couple of us know here. Pastor Friday, Adiambo, and those of us that have heard it before. But Bwana Asli Speedway? Amen. That's a little Swahili for you. That means the Lord will be praised. So Bwana Asli Speedway? Amen, amen. So here's the deal. I've been in church in some form or another pretty much my entire life. So I feel I'm qualified to vouch for this statement. But as Christians, we just have those things that we just say. And if you've been around the church for any period of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you think I'm joking? Well, let's try this. You spare the rod? No, he'll never put more on me. Amen. And only God can judge me. Or money is the root of all evil. Looking at some of your faces, you might have caught that last one a little bit. But on that note, I want to go back to the video that was shown. Francis Chan, he said a lot there. Believe it or not, my point in the video was not to laugh at him because it looked like he was shaming Jehovah's Witnesses. Not at all. It was most of my point actually started in the last about minute and a half of that video when he pointed out, he said when the person said, you can't understand this book unless one of our leaders explains it to you. And as Francis Chan said, he said that's your problem. So you're putting all your trust in someone else. And here's the kicker. That's so true. As he said, some of the things that we believe and do and hold so dear to are not because we found it in this book, but because someone else told us it's true. Now let's go back to a few of those last few sayings I talked about and that are sometimes heard together even around the church. Okay? Let's go to that first one. You spare the rod, spoil the child. Right? Of course, that's the Bible, right? Well, let's go to the scripture that actually comes out of. We'll go to Proverbs 13 and 24. We'll go to Proverbs 13 and 24. And what that actually says, okay, what I'm reading is actually out of the New Living Translation. It might say something a little different here, but it says, those who spare the rod of discipline hate their children. Those who love their children care enough to discipline. Did y'all hear you spare the rod for the child in that? That's not quite what I heard. I heard it a little bit harsher. It said if you spare the rod, you hate your child. But those who love their children enough who care enough for their children enough to discipline. Well, what about he'll never put more on me than I can bear. Well, we know that's gospel, right? That was in a gospel song, right? Kirk Franklin said his word said he won't. So of course that's in the Bible. That's what Kirk Franklin said. Well, where did you get that from? That's actually 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. If you go there, you can go ahead and go there. Don't just trust my word to it. But here's what it says. It says the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, and God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure it. So, when He says, does that say He'll never put more on you than you can handle? It says no. It says the temptation is more than you can handle. And a lot of times, like, I've seen all the time the misapplications of that verse, just saying that God is never going to put more on us in our lives than we can handle. Yeah, He's never going to put more than we can bear. But I can attest to that. That's a lie. Because I've been in situations that I cannot handle. And in reality, it's very much a lie because, he actually wants to put things more on you than you can handle because the expectation is for you to lean and depend on him.
Yes.
There's something that I know, to be honest, even myself has taken that verse and misapplied it and misquoted it, to be honest, just based off of the lyrics of a song. But let's see the next one. Only God can judge me. Or some people say, you shouldn't judge me, you shouldn't judge people. Where does that come from? It comes from Matthew 7. So go to Matthew 7, verses 1 through 5. And that's where that comes from, okay? Here's where that comes from. And what it says also in the New Living Translation, yours might say something a little bit different, but it's saying the exact same thing. It says, do not judge others, and you will not be judged. For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you will be judged. And why worry about a speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own? How can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of the speck in your own eye, when you can't see past the log in your own eye? Hypocrite, get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. So yes, if you just take the first part of the first verse, do not judge others, then you may be able to get that. But if you actually read the rest of that scripture and actually take it into context, what that's actually saying is, before you go and judge somebody else, take care of your own stuff. There's an old song saying, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Exactly. And that's what that's actually talking about. It's not saying don't judge people. Actually, in 1 Corinthians, Paul specifically talks about, with losses among believers, that we need to take care of our own. So yes. I mean, so another misapplication of a verse, you say something. To be honest, that only God can judge me. Y'all know where that came from? Tupac. That's Tupac. Only God can judge me. And actually something that my brother Tyrone has actually pointed out. Do y'all know what the judgment of God looks like? Do you want God to judge you? Maybe you need to start reading some more, but the judgment of God, that can be a life or death thing. And actually a lot of times it is. So only God can judge you. If you want him to, I'll leave you right to him. So another misapplication, but the next one. Money is the root of all evil. And that was an easy one right there. I think I saw everybody look at me weird when I said that one. But of course, that one actually comes out of 1 Timothy 6 and verse 10. We know that before the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And some people craving money have wandered from the truth and pierced themselves with many sorrows. So you see how easily, if you just listen to what somebody else says, how easily it is to be misled. Now, tell me something. How often as Christians have we treated things as gospel based off of what we've been told and what we've heard, or based on an opinionated understanding? Me personally, as I said, I'm guilty of some of that as well, such as some of those previous quotes. But one of the things with me, like such as, I used to think that the stuff that the New Testament, like what Jesus and Paul said, they were just original thoughts. But of course, after actually reading and studying and actually reading into the Old Testament, we actually just read the Bible cover to cover, and I'm reading through stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought that was Jesus who said that. And and this is you see stuff he's quoting in Leviticus, he's quoting Kings, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So you think all of this is original thought? That shows that you have not quite, you're missing some stuff. I used to look up to Solomon as a Bible hero, and of course, Solomon did great things. But actually, after reading into it, I actually more looked at Solomon as a warning to the believers. And if you're not getting me there, I understand, but just going back to the whole reading it for yourself, but we'll come back to that. But overall, most of my understanding of God changed when I noticed something in this next passage. I'm going to actually have you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 1. We're actually going to skip to verse 7 after that. When you have it, say amen. If you don't have it, say wait. Okay? I'm going to let some of those weights turn to amen. Okay. I'll go ahead and get started. Let some of y'all catch up. So, 1 Corinthians, verse 1, it says, when I first came to you, dear brothers and sisters, I didn't use lofty words and impressive wisdom to tell you God's secret plan. Verse 7. No, the wisdom we speak of is the mystery of God. His plan that was previously hidden, even though he made it, for our ultimate glory before the world began. But the rulers of this world have not understood it. If they had, they would not have crucified our glorious Lord. That is what the scriptures say, or that's what the scriptures mean when they say, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. Verse 10, but it was to us that God revealed these things to us by his Spirit. For his Spirit searches out everything and shows us the deep secret. No one can know a person's thoughts except that person's own spirit, and no one can know God's thoughts except God's own spirit. And we have received God's Spirit, not the world's spirit, so that we can know the wonderful things that God has freely given us. When we tell you these things, we do not use words that come from human wisdom. Instead, we speak words given to us by the Spirit, using God's words to explain spiritual truth. But people who aren't spiritual can't receive these truths, can't receive these truths from God's Spirit. It all sounds foolish to them, and they can't understand it, for only those who are spiritual can understand what the Spirit means. Those who are spiritual can evaluate things, but they themselves cannot be evaluated for others. For who can know the Lord's thoughts? Who knows enough to teach him? But we understand these things, for we have the mind of Christ. May the Lord have blessed the reading here, and most of all, the doing of his word. So, when I first read that and kind of dove into this scripture, there was a few things that I noticed. And there were a few questions that I asked. So, first of all, does God keep secrets? Well, that's actually answered pretty quick. Well, you look at verse 1, it says, I did not use lofty words and impressive wisdom to tell you God's secret plan. Look away into verse 7. His plan was previously hidden, even though he made it for our ultimate glory. It's pretty clear that there are some secrets that he keeps. And then the next question came up, does he reveal his secrets, and then to whom? Well, you look at verse 10 and answers that also really quick. The first part, verse 10, but it was to us that God revealed these things by his Spirit. You go a little bit further, the Spirit searches out everything and shows us God's deep secrets. So the answer is yes. And to who? Us, of course. Of course, we're going to dive a little bit more into what that us is. And in verse 11, verse 12 talks about, we have received God's Spirit so that we know the wonderful things that God has freely given us. So the answer is to those who have received the Spirit. Okay? So now the question becomes, why does God hide things? To answer that, we're actually going to jump to another scripture. Now we're going to go to actually Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 10. So, starting at verse 10, it says, his disciples came and asked him, why do you use parables when you talk to people? He replied, you are not permitted to understanding the secrets of the kingdom. There goes that word secrets again. The secrets of the kingdom of heaven. But others are not. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding is given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But to those not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them. That is why I use these parables. So they look, but they don't really see. They hear, but they don't really listen or understand. The majority of my life, especially early on, I thought, when I think of parables, I thought that they were told to make it easier for us to understand. Parables are stories to make it easier for us to understand. But spoke into parables was to hide the truth. Okay, why is that? Well, verse 11. First of all, it says very blatantly. He replied, "You are permitted to understand the secrets of heaven, but others are not." So some people are really not authorized to understand the secrets of heaven. Then the other thing, if you look at, you scroll into verse 12 a little bit. "To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given. They will have the abundance of knowledge. For those who are not listening, even with little understanding they will have, it will be taken away from them." Overall, the people he revealed it to are the people who are actually listening. The thing about it is he wants you to actually listen to what he's actually saying. Okay? So if you're just hearing it to just hear, he's not going to reveal it to you. As I said, they look but don't see. Excuse me. They look but don't really see. They hear but don't really listen or understand. If you just want to hear just to hear it, if you just want to know a little bit of knowledge about him, what really incentive does he have to reveal himself to? Think about Jesus and his life. Realize that at this time, Jesus literally had people who would follow him, waiting for him to slip up and say the wrong things, literally so they could kill him. And if you have somebody like that, are you more apt to, "Hey, you want to know more about me? Hey, you want to kill me? Hey, you want to know more information about me?" No. That makes absolutely no sense. So literally, his parables were literally to hide the secrets of heaven. Now, here's the thing. My wife and I, we've been married for nearly 4.5 years. In fact, I proposed to her actually just right here, just 5 years ago. Just right here, literally feet away from where I'm at, on August 26th. And so the question becomes, though, where do you think we would be if I didn't know any more about her now than I did back then? I mean, seriously. We literally just might not, we really might not even be married. So here's the thing about Kelly. Now, she's a nurse. And in hospitals and doctor's offices, each patient has their own chart, which details their medical history. And if somehow the doctor's office is able to get pretty much every detail about you from when you were born until now, every single little bit about your life, and the doctor or the nurse decides to read every single detail about that, and even memorizes it from cover to cover. Jeremiah, does that mean that they know you then? If they read every single detail about you, does that mean they know you now? No. That does not mean that they know you. That just means they know about you. They know a bunch of stuff about you. Of course not. Many times I've actually heard people talk about Christianity as something that is open to our interpretation. To be honest, this line of thinking is directly contrary to someone who actually believes in God. Because it literally directly insinuates that you believe that God is a figment of our imagination. But I'm telling you something. That's not the God I worship. That is not the God I worship. In fact, God actually desires that we actually get to know him. He doesn't just want us to know facts about him. He doesn't just want us to know a bunch of theology about him. He actually wants us to know him. And if you think I'm just making this up, well, let's look at what the scripture says about that. If you look at Hebrews 11:6 says, he rewards those who sincerely, some versions actually say earnestly, seek him. Okay? In Matthew 6:33, it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto him." If you look at Matthew 7:7, it says, "Keep on asking, you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking, and you will find. Keep on knocking, and the door will be open for you." So it's asking that he wants you to seek him. If you think that's just the New Testament, let's go over to the Old Testament. Deuteronomy 4:29. But from there you will search again for the Lord your God. And if you search for him with all of your heart and soul, you will find him. That's Deuteronomy 4:29. Let's go to Psalms, what David was talking about. It says, the Lord looks down from heaven on the entire human race. He looks to see if anyone is truly wise, if anyone seeks God. He's looking for people who actually want to get to know him. You know, in conclusion, God does not hide stuff from us because he enjoys his high and mighty position, so that he can feel better about himself. He hides stuff from us literally because he likes you. Literally because he likes you. He wants you to get closer to him. In the same way that my wife loves when I continuously ask her questions in order to get to know her better, God wants us to get to know him. He wants you to talk to him. He wants you to tell him about yourself because he also wants to get to know you. You know? When I started making an intentional effort to get to know God, he started to show himself in an intimate way. I started almost craving to want to know him better, and he started to reveal himself more. God then began to develop an awesome give and take relationship. He started to reveal to me how he had already been working in my life. You know, he started to show me that his will is better than my own. You know, I was actually driving one time and got a call from, an associate of mine, someone I know, that's close to me. And he actually, he called me, and he was one of the people, when he called, I'm like, I knew it was. This person was calling to ask for something. And I got to thinking, I'm like, by the time I got off the phone with him, I was pretty frustrated because pretty much I called it ahead of time, and that's exactly what happened. But after I got off the phone, I'm literally like, is this person ever going to call me to just say hi? To just say, hello, how are you doing? Just to see how I'm doing. And to be honest, at that moment, God convicted me. Because in that same exact way, God was like, so, when was the last time you just spoke to me just to say hi? When was the last time you spoke to me because you love me and didn't ask me for nothing? I literally had to while I'm driving, just start talking to God. God, I love you. God, hello. I used to be an athlete before, before game, I used to get hyped up to the point where I literally couldn't sit still. That pregame, I'd actually start jumping up and down, shadow boxing, making really weird, loud noises, that pregame, getting hyped. And for the longest, I'd actually thought that those feelings that I would get before the game, and that anticipation that I would get before the game, were exclusive to sports, and me playing sports. Then I started getting real about my relationship with God. And soon that fire that I would get before games, I would actually start to get consumed by when I would actually talk to the Lord and talk about the Lord. I would actually get that same exact fire when I would actually start praising God. The praise team knows. They think I'm weird. I'll actually come and get them, try to get them hyped up and try to get them on fire again. That's 100% real. But that fire that I would get, I would actually start getting when I would actually start serving the Lord. And that's real. Y'all saw a little bit this morning. But here's the thing. You can get that fire too. It's not something that was made exclusively for me. It's not something that was made exclusively for Jeremiah or Pastor Friday or someone else that you've seen with that fire. That same fire you can have as well. That same fire was made for you and you and you and you and you. I'll tell you what. You don't have to take my word.